terrifying attack in northwest Nigeria. Armed gunmen have abducted 25 schoolgirls from a boarding school in the early hours of the morning. Police say the assault happened around 4 a.m. in the town of Maga in Kebbi State. The attackers, armed with sophisticated weapons, stormed the school, exchanged gunfire with security guards, and killed one staff member while seriously injuring another. The gunmen then seized 25 girls and fled into nearby forests. Authorities have launched a massive search operation, sweeping suspected escape routes and surrounding bushland to rescue the missing students. No group has claimed responsibility, but it marks the latest in a growing wave of school kidnappings that has plagued Nigeria for more than a decade, with attacks rising again this year. Prayers for the safe return of every child.
Nigeria in tears. The abduction of 25 Kebbi schoolgirls and the bloodshed in God's house. Let's go into details of the recent 25 schoolgirls abducted in Kebbi State, northwest Nigeria. It was in the early hours of November 17, 2025, as the people of Kebbi State slept, a new wave of terror was already rising. It began quietly, the rustle of leaves, the distant sound of motorcycles, and then it erupted into chaos. By sunrise, 25 schoolgirls were missing, a school leader was dead, and a nation already drowning in grief was pushed even deeper into despair. But Kebbi was not alone. Across Nigeria, churches, the last refuge for many, have become battlegrounds. The doors of God's house, once symbols of safety, now echo with the memories of gunshots, screams, and bloodshed. This is the story of a nation crying for help. This is the story of children and Christians under siege. This is the story Nigeria must confront. The night Kebbi woke up to horror. It was around 4 a.m. at Government Girls Comprehensive Secondary School, Mega. Most of the girls were still asleep, wrapped in their blankets, dreaming about their future, unaware that the darkness outside was preparing to swallow them whole. Then the gunshots started. Gunmen stormed the school with heavy weapons, scattering security personnel and breaking through the perimeter fence. Inside the dormitories, frightened girls trembled in the shadows, whispering prayers, clutching each other's hands, waiting, hoping the footsteps would not stop at their door. But they did. The attackers dragged 25 girls out of their beds, terrified, barefoot, crying, forcing them into the cold night. Their innocence, their dreams, their futures carried away into the forest. During the chaos, the vice principal, Malam Hassan Makuku, tried to defend his students. He paid with his life. Another staff member fell wounded. By sunrise, panic gripped families across the community. Mothers ran to the school, calling their daughters' names into empty rooms. Fathers stood helpless, staring at the broken fences, wishing they could reverse the night. A few hours later, one of the girls managed to escape. She walked home in tears, barefoot, exhausted. But 24 others remained missing. The government promised action. Soldiers marched into the forests. Vigilantes joined the search. The nation waited. But waiting is torture, especially when it is your child. The military ambush. In response to the outcry, the Nigerian military mobilized rapidly. Units were deployed deep into the forests bordering Kebbi, Niger, and Zamfara, terrain long dominated by bandits and extremist cells. Their mission was clear. Find the girls. Bring them home. Confront the abductors. 4 days, troops combed through dense vegetation, following footprints, abandoned campsites, broken branches, any sign that could lead to the missing children. The tension was heavy. Every soldier knew they were walking into hostile territory. Then it happened. As a detachment advanced toward a suspected hideout, they walked straight into a carefully laid ambush. Gunfire exploded from all directions. The forest lit up with flashes of muzzle fire. The air filled with shouting, pain, and confusion. The kidnappers, heavily armed, positioned on higher ground, and shielded by the forest, attacked with brutal precision. Several soldiers were wounded. Some were pinned down for hours. Radios crackled with distress calls as reinforcement teams struggled to reach the ambush site. It was a haunting moment for the nation. The very forces sent to retrieve the children were now fighting for their own lives. And the kidnappers, emboldened by the chaos, moved the girls even deeper into the wilderness, further away from help, further away from home. The ambush was a harsh reminder. This is not ordinary crime. This is organized terror. And Nigeria's defenders are paying the price. Blood in God's House, the CAC tragedy. While Kebbi mourned its children, another tragedy was unfolding in God's sanctuary. In Kebbi State, worshippers gathered in a Christ Apostolic Church assembly, praying, singing, hopeful. It was a normal church meeting, a peaceful gathering of believers. Then suddenly, gunfire cut through the air. Terrorists stormed the church, firing without mercy. Worshippers fell to the ground. Some hid under benches. Some tried to flee. Others held hands, praying for protection. When the shooting stopped, 3 Christians lay dead. The church pastor and several members were abducted. Families stood outside, crying, unable to understand how a place of worship had become a slaughterhouse. Across the country, Christian communities trembled. For many, this was not an isolated event. It was part of a pattern of killings, kidnappings, burnings, and assaults that have become all too familiar. Human rights groups reported that 99 Christians were killed in Nigeria in just 2 weeks. Thousands have been displaced. Hundreds of churches have been attacked. The fear is growing. The silence is deafening. A country under siege. From the forests of Kebbi to the altars of CAC churches, the message is the same. Nigeria is bleeding. Girls are not safe in school. Christians are not safe in church. Families are not safe in their homes. And yet, the world moves on. For the people living through this nightmare, every day feels like a countdown. A countdown to the next attack. The next headline. The next abduction. The next burial. Security analysts warn that armed groups, bandits, extremists, jihadists, are exploiting weak governance and porous rural security. Some attacks are driven by ideology, others by money. But the impact is the same. Communities destroyed. Children traumatized. Christians targeted. A nation shaken. The Kebbi schoolgirls are not just another incident. They represent the fragile future of Nigeria's daughters. The CAC victims are not just statistics. They represent the faith and endurance of a people who have refused to bow. The cry of a broken people. Imagine being a mother who wakes up every morning wondering if her child is still alive. Imagine being a father who goes to sleep each night replaying the moment he couldn't protect his daughter. Imagine being a Christian who enters a church with fear that today may be the last service they attend. These are not imaginations. These are realities. Realities Nigerians are living with every single day. Communities gather to pray, but even prayers are overshadowed by grief. Pastors preach, but their congregations sit with trembling hearts. Children try to study, but the shadow of kidnapping hangs over every classroom. This is not normal, and it must never be accepted as normal. The call for hope and justice. Despite the darkness, Nigeria still has a heartbeat. Families still pray. Churches still gather. Girls still dream of returning to school without fear. But hope alone is not enough. Nigeria must confront this wave of violence. Security must be strengthened. Schools must be protected. Churches must be defended. Communities must be heard. Leaders must act, not with promises, but with results. The abducted girls must be found. The killers in Kebbi must be brought to justice. Christian lives must be treated as national treasures, not mere casualties. The stories of Kebbi and CAC are not separate tragedies. They are chapters of the same book. A book written with tears, blood, and unanswered questions. As we speak, somewhere in a forest, 24 girls are sitting in fear. Somewhere in Kebbi, families are still weeping for loved ones killed in church. Somewhere in Nigeria, another community is wondering if they will be next. This is the reality we must face. This is the truth we must tell. This is the cry of a nation that refuses to give up. Until the girls come home. Until the churches are safe. Until Nigeria finds peace. We will keep telling their stories. Please pray for Nigeria. We call on President Donald Trump and United Nations to come rescue us. Amen. Please subscribe and share to make our voices heard and to keep getting updates regarding all situations affecting Christians in Nigeria.
The unfortunate thing has already happened. They have abducted our children. We have come, we have seen things by ourselves. And we see the parents that their children who have been abducted. And we give them confidence, we give them our words that we'll do everything possible to ensure that their children are being rescued.